Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Lover Pretend, continuing Harumi's route. We are now, well, fully in his route and pretending we're his girlfriend at this point, so full on in the Lover Pretend! Again, point of the game, but still somehow shocks me when it's like, we're gonna pretend we're his girl, but why? Oh, well, I mean, point of the game, so duh. Anyway, the next day I met Harumi on the break floor of the studio. Both of our arms were full. Wait, did you? You too, Miss Spacey. Oh wow, that is loud. I knew it. I worked hard to research everything because I wanted to surprise you. I am surprised. I didn't think you'd go into such detail. Aww. Touching. How adorable we are. Let me flip through my documents. This is really well made. The information is concise and I can see the important points at a glance. You think so? It made me happy to hear such a direct compliment. I almost wanted to giggle. I kind of want to giggle. It's okay, let's all giggle. Okay. Group giggle. Oh my god. There's something wrong with me. Yes, far different than mine. What? Really? But your packet was easy to read, and this one's well made too. Harumi's report had detailed comments and photos from various angles, so it was easy to understand. It detailed what kind of scenes we could film, the weather, and even had a list of potential problems we could run into at these locations. However, this botanical garden, I've seen it before. I don't think I've ever been there, though. Oh, this is a nice waterfall, right? I think it could look different depending on the weather, too. The scene where they speak at the waterfall is, I believe, afternoon. If we use the direction of the light, yeah, I think it'd look really beautiful. It's just a matter of getting there. Okay, so like the weirdest thing is like I just took a shower, so like, and I'm like, what the hell is that goddamn ticking noise that I can hear? And I'm like, it's because my loft is like above, like the corner of my bedroom and the corner of my loft, like right there is like where the hot water heater is. So like it's the hot water heater, like refill, like whatever, and it's just, it makes a ticking noise, and it does the same thing if you use hot water before you go to bed, and then you're like, what is that noise? And you're like, oh, it's the damn hot water heater. And it's like, I could just hear it through my headphones, just a little like, thunk, thunk. What is that? I just had to tweak out for a minute about it. I'm sorry. Anyway. Yeah, I think it'd look really beautiful. It's just a matter of getting there. I think I read that. It's quite far from the train station, and the bus only comes once every 2 hours. Plus, it's still some distance from the bus stop, so we have to plan around that. Our time will be limited, so let's be efficient. Our closest location is the aquarium. Yep, I agree. I've looked up the show times, too. We've spread out our maps and photos. Coming up with a route that might hit our locations while taking time into account was no easy task. That's true, because we're planning for, like, it's so funny, because, like, for a hot second, I'm like, I know we were doing, you know, the location scouting, but I'm like, did I miss something? Like, we're mapping it all out, and it's like, okay, no, we haven't gone to the locations, we have pictures and photos and things of the potential locations, and we're gonna go to them. But it's like, I thought the way we had this documentation and the pictures and the water, I'm like, are we not gonna go there? Like, okay. Look, my brain, not full on, ever. Anyway. What should we do about this? I think we were going back and forth, pointing to our documents, when... Not our dad. I'm so disappointed by that still. Every time he shows up, I'm just going to be disappointed that he's not our dad. He's like, well, I can't be your dad. Are you sure, though? Like, are you going to bamboozle me where later you're like, actually, I am. Like, I mean, it would have been so fucking funny. Oh god, all my hopes are dashed. Again, I just feel like the father thing's gonna be like, I never did find out who my father was, but it's okay, and like, we're not gonna care at all. You know? Because you can't have freaking Asagi's dad be our dad too, because then like, then he's our brother, and we're not gonna date him, and then like, what's the point of having his route? That's not fair. That's not fair. That's not the point of an Otome game. I don't care if we never find our dad, we have to be able to date all the hot guys. Like, bad enough you put hot guys as side characters and I can't date them, but then you're going to give me a route with a character that, like, yeah, And I can't date him because he's my brother or some shit? Like, nah, that's not cool. Oh my god, I just got a dry spot in my throat. Hold on. I don't want to like cough in your ear. Oh god, you know when you get that dry spot in your throat and you feel like you're gonna die? You're like, oh god! Oh, that came on fast. My eye's watering. Anyway. Hey, what are you two doing? Planning out your date? We heard Mr. Hanai's voice from above us. I love him, though. Date? No, this is for our location scouting. Ah, the man does protest too much, methinks. You can't deceive my eyes. The man doth protest too much. I love him so much. We're not deceiving you. There's no point in hiding it. You're both at the right age for dating, so don't be embarrassed. Fuck. Could you imagine if we weren't even pretending to date? Like, how awkward this would be? You're right. We don't need to keep it a secret. I managed to muffle my surprise. Instead, it was Mr. Hanai who let out a weird yelp. Because he was just teasing us and we're like, that's fine, we're in love. Wait, what? Wait, you two aren't actually... Like, that's rude. Why would you tease us? And then we're like, you're right, we're madly in love. And then be like, whoa, wait, back it up. Like, dude! I have not seen anyone flip around that fast. What the shit? Yes, you guessed it. We are dating each other. You said it! Although, right now we're just talking about work. I see. Mr. Hanai must have only said it just to tease us. I feel a little bad. I'm just as startled as he is. I feel a little bad. I don't, though, but he teased us, and now we just threw... I'm getting a little sick of this shit. It works perfectly fine. When I'm recording a game, it will not... It's gotta be my fucking capture card. To be down honest with you, it's gotta be something wrong with my capture card. I gotta look and see if I can update that. Because there is no fucking reason why this fucking thing should be freezing constantly, and yet it keeps doing this like 5-10 minutes in, and like, then I keep reading, and then I glance over and I'm like, son of a bitch! Why do I not just read off my freaking computer? Because then I would know. And I did this when I started recording, like, make sure you keep checking, Spacey. Make sure you keep checking, and like, no. No, I didn't! Anyway, we were only like a couple minutes past this, but as I was saying, I just think it's kind of funny. I don't feel bad for throwing it back in his face when he was trying to tease us, and now he like, you know. So anyway, but now that he knows about it, we can't turn back. We'll need to be careful what we say and do from now on. Huh. Even after you came back from studying in England, you were terminally shy. Looks like you've changed. I didn't study abroad because I wanted to. I had no choice but to follow my father's orders. Orders? Harumi said it so matter-of-factly. He must have not wanted to study abroad, but order was a very strong word. This is basically where we were. I was at the order is a strong word. So, I mean, like, we really, like, obviously, like, I had a little moment in there talking about, like, which we lost all of it, but whatever. Like, how it's really funny that every single time, I mean, 2 so far, the guys are the ones who are like, we should just pretend we're dating now. And it's like, okay. And then they're always the one with every person that comes up, yes, we're dating! And then I have to cover for them. I have to do the pretend times and make sure I get, like, they're the ones bluffing, and I'm the one that has to, like, cover it. Every time. Anyway. So, there was that. So we only lost a few minutes. We're fine. Anyway, please don't take up my time with her, Mr. Hanai. Even though we're working, it's still precious to me. Like, God, you're so good! What the shit? That is, like, masterful line! Like, steal my heart, why don't you? Oh, sure thing. Sorry about that. Well, I'll leave you two youngins to it. Mr. Hanai left just as cheerfully as he had come. That was a surprise. Yes, was I able to act like a boyfriend properly? Yeah, I think you did great, considering it was Mr. Hanai of all people. Not many could have done that. Hearing that makes it worth trying. Even though it shaved years off my life, my HP is pretty much 0. Harumi laughed, though he looked fatigued. Wait here. I went and bought a drink from the vending machine and handed it to him. Harumi took the chilled bottle with a grateful expression and gulped it down in one go. Thank you. My throat was parched from nerves. I'm still lacking in training. Me too. I didn't do anything, but my heart was still racing. If he'd asked for any details, we would have been in trouble. You're right. Why don't we decide on our backstory a little more? If we create solid characters, we might be able to respond more calmly. At least I hope so. Right. Preparation is important. Let's think of something good. See, with Cosmo, we didn't have to because we've known each other all of our lives, basically. Well, since like middle school. So when people are like, wait, you guys are dating? Yeah, just kind of happened. We've always been friends. It's like, oh yeah, okay. But with Harumi and I, it's like, we have to figure this shit out. Was like, how did it happen? Who asked who out? Like, with Cosmo, you could have just easily been like, well, I don't know, we just kind of fell into it. Like, you didn't have to have that. You could have just been like, I don't know, we just started going to movies, and like, he asked me to the movies, and it just kind of happened. Like, friends first type of a thing. You'd think I'd like the childhood friends route more, because that's literally, like, how I would prefer to do things. Like, I don't want to be, hey, you want to go out on a date? Oh, dear God, talk about pressure. It's like a job interview. I can't handle it. But, like, you go out, you're hanging out with someone, and the next thing you know, you're just like, are we, like, dating now? Okay, sure. That's how I just want to, like, fall into it and be like, I don't know when this happened and how it happened, but now we're married. Okay. Like, I was, like, wait, when did we start I don't even know. You know what I mean? I just wanted to, like, kind of just naturally progress into that. So you think the childhood friends would absolutely be, like, right up my alley, and yet they never are. Except for Cosmo. Like, that route was fucking great. And honestly, Harumi being, like, as Lollyboy as he's really not normal. He's on that border, though. He's got that slight lolly effect going on. He hasn't quite grown out of his Lollyboy face. But he's not the standard. I know. Somebody's going to get so mad at me and be like, he's not. And it's like, he's as lolly as you can get in this game. He's the lolliest of them, okay? And he's still not, but he still has too sweet, innocent baby face for me personally, because I'm fucking old, okay? But I still absolutely really enjoy this route, and I'm actually enjoying him as a character, so, like, I don't know what's happening to me. Apparently I'm getting old and senile, and I just forget my type. I did have an epiphany last night, and I went, I'm not surprised that I like the asshole characters. The ones that are kind of cold, emotionless, and, like, just jackasses. Because I realized I think my first literary crush ever as a child was Sherlock Holmes. And, like, talk about emotionless. Like, I'm like, that explains a lot, actually, when you think about it. So, I just take that as you will. I don't know. And I'm pretty sure David Bowie in Labyrinth is exactly why I'm into men in a lot of makeup and kind of drag queens. Because, like, that man looked fabulous with that makeup on. Like, come on. Like, if you've never seen Labyrinth, you really fucking should. And, like, anybody would be like, if the Goblin King showed up and looked like that, I'd be like, now stay. No, okay, you can take my brother. That's cool. What ifs? I'm not going into the labyrinth to get the baby back. You keep it and turn it into a goblin. I'm here for you. Like, this is fabulous. Sure, it may be a modern interpretation where it's not, like, totally 80s, but still, I'm just saying. No, I'm not saying they should remake the movie, because that would be a travesty. Don't do it. But I'm just saying, the Goblin King maybe needs to get out of the 80s and bring it into the modern era. Still be fabulous, though. Anyway. Now, pretty sure I need some therapy to learn some of these weird things. But, I figured cut some of them out. Anyway. Right! Preparation is important! Let's think of something good. We'll leave it to us to do this with Harumi, the two of us coming up with, like, okay, got backstory. I actually kind of like, though, that, like, we did the childhood friend where it's like, oh, we could just naturally say it just happened. Cool. We have this, okay, we've got to prepare this and we're two nerds and we don't know how to do this. And then we're going to get into the actor and the model, and they're going to be so good with bamboozling people. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm just going to have to ride with it for once. I'm still going to have to cover their bluff, but, saying it's going to be a trip and a half. We took out our notepads and started writing out our story as a couple. The cliff notes, right? Okay, so these two characters have the same names as us. Mm-hmm. We have to memorize this information front to back as actors. When we act, it'll always be improv. These will be the key points that we'll use when we act on the fly. We're getting way too in-depth with this. It's kind of amusing. Got it. So we need to use this info to deeply understand our characters. Exactly. That's why we need to be careful not to write anything outrageous. Harumi turned around the paper with the questions and details written out and handed it to me. First, how we met. Our meeting. Standard answer would be that we already knew each other and began dating on one of our birthdays. And confessing on your birthday is a typical story, so it wouldn't be too strange. Look, my birthday's about me. Could you simmer down and wait? Like... It's like I have to propose on Christmas. Don't take my Christmas away from me! Because I'm like, what if we break up? Now Christmas is ruined. You know what I'm saying? Also, don't ever propose on April Fools. My ex-husband proposed on April Fools. Just FYI. Don't do that. You see, it was all just a big joke. Joke's on me. I fell for it. Kind of a funny story, but... I mean, just the... You got engaged on April Fools? Yeah! Without a ring! So I should have known at that point that it was just a scam somehow. And yet... still went for it. Stupid. Anyway. I'm just saying. Beware of holidays. You know, because, like, you don't want to, like, then you break up and you're like... Valentine's Day is already going to be ruined because you're basically like, oh, you're alone? Yeah. Good for me. I can eat all my chocolate myself. All those Reese's peanut butter chocolate hearts, just for me, thanks. But, like, Christmas, you propose on Christmas, and then Christmas is ruined after that for a while. Like, bummer. Don't do that. Just don't do it. Don't ruin my birthday. When we break up, it's going to ruin my birthday! September 10th. That's yours. Yes, it was after our camping. It was after our camp, and we were going back to normal life. It feels like a good time. How about I confess to you? We were celebrating my birthday and I told you the feelings I've had for a while. For a while? How about I was drawn to your earnest personality? It might not be romantic, but that part is true. This is, like, so adorable because I feel like it's like a half confession that neither one of us knows is a confession. It's sweet. I love this. We're nerds. This is great. This is exactly how nerds in love do it. Huh? That startled me, but Harumi just continued to read through his note. You don't get to scream, you stop! Our first date was at a planetarium. It's not that we're particularly into stargazing. We just wanted to go somewhere quiet. Yeah, but we've never been to the planetarium. But after we went, the beauty of the starry night deepened our relationship. That's our story so far. That was our only significant date spot. Harumi also added that, since we hadn't been dating for very long, we wouldn't have many regular places yet. I see. I sighed in awe. What do you think? If there's anything strange, could you please tell me? No, it's really detailed and clear. Just saying that we were lovers was a little vague, but this gives me a much better idea. Is that so? I'm glad. Wonder if you're able to think of things like this so easily because you watch so many shows. I should learn from you. That makes me happy, especially from such a skilled writer like you. Oh my god, I love it when he blushes. It's adorable. So awkward. Makes me happy to hear that too. Oh my god, we're totally in love with each other and we just don't know it. Oh, I love nerds who don't know they're in love with each other. This is the best trope. Because I'm a nerd and I wouldn't know I was in love with someone. I'd be like, why do I feel funny? Because I'm an idiot. So, well, we got our timeline down. What's left is... We confessed and began dating. So if we're a couple, we should act like one. So, like, kissing? Girl, moving fast. His shocked blush face. Harumi had just started trying to take another drink from his bottle, but he choked at my words. I mean, that'll do that. Oh, I'm sorry. That was a weird thing for me to say. No, you're right. Should we have already kissed? A couple that's already kissed. Even though our dating history had been ironed out, I doubt I'd be able to act like that. We're taking it slow. Let's say we haven't yet. Because that's true. I agree. It's not a good idea to deviate too much from reality. Oh, yes, by the way, about the location scouting. They're like, did you location scout? No, we were planning our fake relationship. And they're like, what? Nothing. I pulled my thoughts back from our couple notes and turned my focus back to the location scouting. After a while, we finished our plan and ended our meeting. Someone's gonna find that couple notes somewhere and be like, why, if you had a relationship, would you need to make notes on it? We haven't gone out together since the first fan pilgrimage. That's when you're like, it's because we just one night got drunk at a bar, had sex, and we decided we might as well date, but we didn't want to admit that. Thanks! No one will ever bring it up again or question you. Last time we went to an udon shop and an anime store, but this time we were going to an aquarium. Feels like a date. I walk back home, my thoughts wandering. Dun dun dun. Look at that, we've made it 14 minutes and then we haven't ooh, chapter 5! And we haven't crashed again yet. See? There, in the train station! You didn't have to rewind 3 parts ago when I said it. Right there, see? There's freaking Pio Fiore posters in the background. Funny, because that's going up in tandem with this. I think it's still... I finished recording the game, but I think it's still going up. For anyone that watches this roughly around when it posts, and not like 2 years later. If you're watching it 2 years later, that means nothing to you. The day of the location scouting, I waited at the train station with the documents I'd written with Harumi. Let's go. Our destination was the aquarium. Location scouting would be fun. Oh, we have been here before. Are you gonna pin me to the fish tank? It's like, I can't see Harumi doing that, but... And it also just brings back memories of Kazuma's route and his whole spiel going on here, and you're like, I'm not falling for that! Like, that's the typical childhood friend bullshit. Like, you're overprotective and jealous and douchey. But, like, you weren't acting like that through the whole route, so I'm not falling for your spiel now. Bullshit! And I can't imagine Harumi saying any of that. Or pinning me against a fish tank. We might have to pin him. That's cool. I'll do that. It was full of people and would be easy to get lost in. We're gonna have to hold hands. It's really crowded. Yes, we should be careful not to get separated. Following the map we'd gotten from the aquarium website, we headed to the dolphin show stage. The place mentioned in the script would be around here. Harumi pointed to the spot near the large show tank. The website said we'd get covered in water. I think we'd better be prepared for that. You're right, but the outline said they wanted photos from the front rows and back rows. There are already a lot of people sitting in the back, so let's leave that for later and sit in the front. Sure, sounds good. Even though it was still hot every day, September was almost over. There was a chance that getting soaked would make us catch cold. But telling myself that this was for work, I sat down with Harumi in the front row. Before long, the announcement that the dolphin show was beginning rang through the hall. Harumi covered the camera with a plastic bag to protect it and clicked the shutter. Aw, look, we got pictures of cute dolphins! Yay! I like it! Dolphins are such assholes. But, somehow we love them anyway, right? They're like, dolphins! Raging dickholes. The assholes of the sea. Very people-like, aren't they? Dolphins performed a variety of tricks, like catching a ball or doing a lap with the trainer holding onto them. I kind of feel like there's just a lot of animals that are just assholes that are cute. And that's why they can get away with being assholes. Aren't otters kind of like assholes too? Like, you know what I mean? Like, each time a cheer burst from the crowd, I tried to focus on work, telling myself not to get too absorbed in the show. Since Harumi was taking photos, my job was recording information about our surroundings. What the seats were like, how they were arranged, and what problems we might run into when shooting there. Additionally, if I noticed anything particularly useful, I'd write it down. The chairs, they're curved fucking benches strapped to the ground, basically. Now for the finale, the ultra high jump! Here they come! We're getting soaked. The dolphins jumped high in the air. Oh, that's amazing! But there wasn't any time to take it in. What? We were suddenly covered in buckets of water. I mean, that's why that's the splash zone. And the seats were wet when you sat down. Oh, we get a CG though. Harumi, are you okay? I want to see his hair all plastered to his eyes. The camera's fine. It's water resistant and I covered it in plastic. He still took off the bag to inspect it, though. And what about you? I'm fine. I'm alive. But he's way more soaked than me. He might catch a cold. Oh my. You can't do this to me. You can't. Him slicking back his hair like that? Stop it. What? Why? Why is that doing things? Like, he's adorable, don't get me wrong, but that just, like, that little piece of hair slicked back, like, why is that so hot? Stop it. Stop, you can't. Like, he may have innocent, sweet saucer eyes, but, like, this is the sexiest he's ever been. I'm not... I mean, I'm here for this, but, like, game, you can't do this to me. You're making me very confused on the characters I like, game. I don't know... I don't know if I'm just going old and senile, or the writers are just good, and the art is like, let's just... And then you're just like, I like these characters that I don't normally like. What's going on here? But, like, seriously? Like, there's just something about the fact that he's just pulling back. It's just a giant lock of his hair. But it's still like, why? Like, I kind of want to see you, like, do that with all your hair. Not, like, full, but, like, just the top parts. You know, you get the little parts that are down on the side, but, like, that top part back in the middle. Like, do that. I want to see the whole thing. I'm intrigued by this. I'm into it. Like... Because, like, your hair like this is actually better. I think you should leave it like this permanently. Anyway. I only have a hand towel, but it's better than nothing. I started drying him off without thinking, but I could have just let him borrow my towel. I think Harumi doesn't like it when people get in his personal space. He's blushing, though, because, like, a girl is touching him. Yeah, I mean, seriously, like, his hair like this? Like, just leave it like this permanently. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Did you get any in your eyes? I had them closed. Actually, you're soaked yourself. Oh, well, yeah, but it's not as much as you, and the sun will dry it quick. What if you get sick? It's fine. I'm pretty resilient. Besides, I think you're the one we should be worried about. You know, because you're delicate and all. That's not the point. You're a girl, so you need to be careful with your health. I don't think gender has anything to do with colds. Thank you. Thank you for that, Spacey / game. You're a girl, you're more delicate. Bitch, no I'm not. You're like, that's awfully sexist, and I don't think that's how colds work. It's a virus, thanks. But if you got sick, I'd be worried. Well, if you did, then I'd be worried too. People behind us are like, look at these adorable nerds in love. Oh, and then look at his awkward little smile with his goofy eyebrows. Because he's doing the little like, oh, wait, look at, stop it, it's adorable. We're just going around in circles. You're right. How dumb would it be if we both ended up with colds? We could take care of each other. If that happened, Mr. and I would definitely tease us. Ugh, I can just imagine it. I could even imagine exactly what he'd say. Oh, but maybe if you think of another part of our backstory, that extra ammunition will help me hold up against him. And that sounds promising. But keep in mind that this is Mr. Hanai we're talking about. He may come at us in a way we can never anticipate. Ugh. When you put it like that, it shakes my confidence. Maybe we should think of a more detailed backstory. You're right. This kind of feels like getting ready for an exam. Considering we're identifying our opponent's methods and strategizing against them, you have a point. See, because he's kind of adorable, but it's kind of slightly bowl cut-ish. Not quite. It's like slightly grown out. But then that little bit slick back is just, it just changes everything. It's just, hello. You know? Because, like, honestly, with Harumi, it's the slight, almost bowl-esque cut hair. Thank God it's not fully a bowl cut, but you know what I mean? You're like, not into that. And then poor Kazuma had basically almost a mullet going on. But still, like, acceptable. But, like, could you just imagine slightly different hair? Or again, with Harumi, just that slightly little bit back. Like, that changes everything. Because, like, now that the haircut adds to your kind of adorableness. You know what I mean? Because it's not like a it's very an adorable, youthful look. So, like, saying. A little bit slick back. I don't know, just somehow added something. Personal taste, I guess. I don't know. I'm still just very confused about it, okay? Gonna have a little bit of a crisis later. This game is fun. It subverts my expectations and like, I wasn't thinking I was gonna love this character. What are you doing to me? What's happening? This is a fun trip for anyone else that's been here for a while and is like, wow, Spacey's lost her mind. Yes, I have. That was never in question. I'll borrow this towel. I brought one as well, so please use it. Thank you. I took the hand towel Harumi offered and dried myself off. It's like a fucking washcloth tap tap. Okay, I'm still wet. The sun was shining and the wet parts were already beginning to dry. Wait, if Harumi had one too, we could have just used our own. Yeah, because you jumped the gun though. But borrowing each other's stuff seemed like something a couple would do. Maybe? Let's make sure we don't catch cold. Yeah. Harumi started walking, so I followed. That conversation felt pretty natural. I wonder if all couples are like that. Like some people, even friends are like that. Girl is crazy. We continued to take photos of key spots at the aquarium, then moved to our next location and did the same. All while wearing soggy socks and underwear. Oh god, I'm gonna vomit. There is nothing I hate more than wet clothes. It's like, if you jumped in a pool in all your clothes, you're like, oh, okay, whatever. But as soon as you get out and you're just like, oh no, wet clothes on my body. No. No, I hate it. It's even like bathing suits. You're like in the water and then you get out and it's okay because the bathing suit it's not moving around on you. Unless you're like me, my bathing suit is a little attached kind of skirt thing, so then that's sticking to your thighs and you're like, but the second you're like, oh, I have to pee, and you have to peel off a wet bathing suit to pee, and then your body is like damp, and then you have to put the wet bathing suit. I'm just gonna stop it. I'm gonna pass out. I hate it so much. I hate even just the thought of it. It's like thinking about holes, okay? What is the fear of wet clothes? Because borderline have that. Is there no, it makes my skin crawl. I don't like it. Let's stop talking about this. But like they're walking around and like wet, and then if your shoes get wet, and then it's like squish, that squelchy noise that your shoes and socks make when they're wet. Like, I didn't realize this was a horror game. They're gonna show me a field full of holes next, and then I'm really gonna lose it. Before we knew it, the sun had set. I mean, I'm not gonna be traumatized by like wet clothes. I'm slightly traumatized, but it just makes my skin crawl just thinking about it. I don't like it. It's uncomfortable, is what it is. You know, you're just like, oh god, no. Phew, I'm tired. We slumped into the seats of an empty train as we looked through the photos we took today. It's the same thing with like wet hair. Like I want to leave my hair down after I take a shower for it to dry, but it's like up in a bun. So it never dries right because I don't like wet hair touching me either. And I don't like it touching my clothes and then making my shirt damp and then my shirt is sticky. I don't like it. My legs felt like they were about to fall off and I was very drowsy, but I enjoyed looking at the pictures with Harumi. He was very tiring but important, and this is the foundation of creating a work. Harumi sounded happy. He may not have particularly wanted to come, but it still seems like he had fun. You're right. Hey, we should probably plan for the next one too. Yes, we should. How about next time we go to the waterfall and the botanical garden? How about here and here, too? Let's see. We checked the location list and set up our next plan. Soon enough, the train took us back to the station where we'd met up that morning. We decided to meet in the same place for our second location scouting, too. I arrived a little early. I doubt he's here yet. I went to where Harumi had been standing last time to wait for him, but... Good morning. You're early. He was already there. You too. Let's get going. I'm excited for today. And like, we're location scouting, but we're kind of going on dates. How? Here. It's here. When we arrived at the botanical garden, Harumi's eyes practically sparkled. He looked like he'd fly off into space if I didn't tether him down somehow. He seems to be oddly excited. Maybe he likes plants. Actually, when I read the information Harumi gathered about this place, it seemed familiar. It was like was it this where she was like, this seems familiar. Where have I seen it? I'm like, in an anime that he watches. And that's exactly why he's excited. But I had never come to these gardens before. Harumi seemed to have forgotten about me as he zipped around and took photos. He was clicking the shutter at least twice as much as last time. Yeah, this tree, this angle, this has to be it. Yeah, look at him, he's nerding out. He's got his nerdgasm face on. This tree? Angle? After hearing what he said, I took another look around the place. This place! It's where Kai said farewell to Gerda in episode 19 of Atomic Saga! That explained why Harumi was so excited! Harumi... Oh, please wait a moment. I'm comparing the angle with the anime and finding places to take photos. He was completely immersed. Go home! Go home! We're supposed to create a save file. Here, okay. Go home. That's so fucking rude. We're like, I'm just gonna leave. Sweet fucking Jesus. I mean, I literally just saved, and then I was coming back here, and I was like, we have to say Kai's line, and I was like, and I glanced over, and it was like, I'm like, seriously? I do not understand. I have a feeling it's because my recording software needs to be fucking updated, but it doesn't have an update available, and it's gonna keep doing this, but it's like, it breaks every single time my graphics card needs to be updated. And like, okay, that's fine. And then I update my graphics card, and then it's fine for like a day, and then and it's like, I'm gonna need you to get your fucking updates together, because this is a pain in my fucking ass, and I pay for this fucking program. Like, I can't do this. Like, oh my god. I also probably need to get a new capture card, because I've had my capture card for like 8 years, so like, I should probably just invest in a new one. And like, because that could also be the problem, but at any rate, this might be a shorter part than I don't know, because like, I have no idea between the 17 parts I have to edit together how long it is, so like, whatever. Anyway, we're supposed to say Kai's line, because I'm assuming if we say go home, that would be a bad ending, and how rude is that? So, anyway, he was completely immersed. If I call out to him normally, I don't think it'll reach his ears. Well, I can't be with you anymore! Goodbye, Gerda! Harumi whipped around, looking like he'd been struck by lightning. Way to impress him. Yeah. His fucking face. So good. That's Kai's line. Kai's line. In episode 19 of Atomic Saga, Kai says to Gerda, I can't be with you anymore. Goodbye, Gerda. Wait, if you're Kai, does that mean I'm the heroine Gerda? I'd prefer to be Kai, but taking Gerda's role is pretty nice too. You finally looked at me. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sure you're angry. Did you choose this place because it was a site from Atomic Saga? No, well, partly, but that's not the only reason. When I first read the script, I thought this place would be a good fit. And to be honest, it's hard to find a good location, so I thought, why not here? The dejected Harumi looked like a scolded puppy. I'd be like, you should have just told me, like, would be like, you know what I mean? Seems like he was trying to kill two birds with one stone, but that doesn't always work out like you'd think. Not that I'm one to talk. I tried to do something similar and ended up causing trouble for Professor Asagi. I understand where you're coming from, but you can't mix your job and your hobby. We're here for work. I agree that this garden is a good location, and it's hard to find places like this, but even so... Yes, sorry. You can absolutely mix work and fun. You know what I mean? Like, so you think it's a good location, but you're also going to benefit from getting to see the location. It's not like, why are we in a garden, and why are we taking pictures in a botanical garden? Because the plot of the script is that there's no more greenery left on Earth. This would make no sense. But if the script, you'd be like, oh, it could be a good place. And also, you know, him just looking for locations from the anime is like, okay, you gotta simmer it down. We still have to work. But you can do both. Really? Yes, I really am. Okay, If you get it, then no problem. Now let's keep on task, okay? Yes, although you've already seen up to episode 19. Yeah, I wanted to watch more, but I started watching Tearblade instead. That scene from episode 19 made me cry so much. I thought Kai was cold at first, but he became more human as he spent time with Gerda and the others. Yes, in episode 19 he says farewell to protect his friends. It's sad, but he was so cool. I watched the scene so many times. I can't be with you anymore. Goodbye, Gerda. I know that's not what you want. That's why, this time, I'll save you. He changed in that scene, but Gerda, who'd always been protected before, changed too. Kai chose to leave his friends to protect them, and Gerda wanted to save Kai from that loneliness. It was a beautiful scene. Yes, exactly. The image of the two of them looking at each other as flower petals flutter through the air is seared into my mind. I never thought I'd get to come here. I understand that feeling, but you should set that aside for the location scouting. If a person tried to make their own story while thinking about another one, I doubt it would turn out well. That's why right now we need to focus all our thoughts on the piece we're working on currently. Yes, sorry. I think we've taken enough photos here. But we did come all this way. Why don't we walk around a little more before we leave? What? Really? Yeah, we still have some time until our bus. Besides, I don't think we'll be able to come here very often. Thank you! See, like we're gonna be like, no, we'll come back in 3 years. We're already here. Why waste time? Harumi's expression brightened and he started taking photos again. I watched, awed by how much he loved it. Oh, if you can, could you please stand where Gerda was standing? Huh? I want to take a photo. What? That's embarrassing, but, yeah, okay, that's embarrassing, but... This is kind of awkward, but if you really want, I could, I think it was around here? I guessed where I should stand based on the surrounding plants. He just lost his shit there, too. There, right there. It's so great to be understood. You don't mind that I'll be in the picture? Won't it ruin it? No, I mean, each person is different, but I like it better when I have someone standing there because it makes it more realistic. Okay, well, go ahead. I tried to make the same pose from the scene. Here I go. 3, 2, 1. After clicking the shutter a number of times, Harumi was finally satisfied. Thank you. This'll make a wonderful memory. It's like, in this life, I regret nothing. Oh, well, there's a lot of things I still want to do, though. Look at this one. It turned out nice. Let's see. Oh, look, we can kind of see us in the freaking picture on the camera. I thought they were going to show us the picture, but no, they show us like a blurry image on a camera. On screen was the same scenery from episode 19. It bothered me a little that I was the model, but even so, thought it was a good photo. No, but that's adorable and sweet. You're a good photographer. You think so? Then we might as well use this. Use it how? I swear I wasn't thinking anything nefarious. You know how people often put photos of their special someone in their planner? Why don't we try that too? I thought it might make us look more like a couple. He's like thinking this way too seriously, but I love it. I feel like these days you just take photos with your phone. And that's embarrassing, so maybe a print one would be better. Though prints are also embarrassing. Then, can I take a photo too? Huh? Oh, wait. I'm not ready to become Kai yet. Ignoring Harumi's panic, I took a photo. Hey, it's not fair to take it so suddenly. It's fine. You're not making a funny face. That's not the problem. Jeez. I want a picture of this. His pout face is adorable. Harumi looked a little flustered, but it was a nice picture. He didn't normally show his emotions very much, so it was a rare look for him. I think it's funny that it's like, we could take a photo together, but that's embarrassing. So I guess we could print out a... I mean, I guess I can understand and be like, that's a little awkward, but it's not embarrassing. I feel like when they translate, or even when they write, they use embarrassed a lot for things that's like, that's not always the term you're looking for. Like, it's a little awkward, but it's not embarrassing to take photos of each other together with your phone. Like, you don't take photos with your friends? Like, you have no pictures of you and Cosmo together hanging out? Like, Well, that's different. I mean, yeah, I get it's different because he's your friend, but Harumi and you are friends at least. So you're pretending to date, you can get a photo together, and it's not embarrassing so much as it would be like, it's a little awkward. Awkward and embarrassing are different things. So, like, it kind of drives. I think that's why sometimes when they're like, it's embarrassed, I'm embarrassed. Oh my God, embarrassing. Oh, that I get so annoyed with it. Like, simmer the fuck down. It's because they use embarrassed when they mean something else. You know? And it's like, I personally need to just be like, okay, you don't mean embarrassed, you mean it's awkward, and okay, yes, I get that. And I just need to, like, infer myself what they're trying to say instead of, like, reading it straight up. Because when they say embarrassed all the time, it triggers me. It makes me so mad sometimes. I'm like, why are you embarrassed all the time? Like, oh, it's so embarrassing. Oh my God, he kissed me. It's like you have 3 kids together. Like, and I've said this rant before, but it's like, oh, it's a little awkward, or, oh, I'm a little shy about it. Like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. But you always throw in embarrassed, and it's like, I don't, like, it's used too much to the point where it loses when it actually should be embarrassing, or when it should just be like, oh my God, it's a little awkward, or oh my God, I'm just being a little shy. And I mean, I guess when you're being a little shy, it could be a little embarrassing, but it's not the same, like, choose other words, like, anyway. And that's my TED talk. Thanks. I just had to, because like there's nothing embarrassing really about taking a photo together. It'd just be awkward. That's what you mean. It's just that seeing everything say embarrassed just makes me angry. And I don't want to be angry at the game because it's good. We're having a lot of upbeat fun. And sometimes the awkward weirdness is like, it is awkward and weird. I'm here for that. Like, and there is a lot of embarrassment going on. And I understand that. But this case, I don't think that's what you meant. And no, don't do that. Don't make me mad. We started out having such a great time, and then my recording software just being a piece of shit is just really just made me, like, I have no tolerance for anything anymore. That's not true. I'm also hungry. Anyway, he didn't normally show his emotions very much, so it was a rare look for him. Now, don't get upset. Besides, once we don't have to pretend to be a couple. I'll get rid of it. And I promise I won't show it to anyone else. Okay. It's only temporary after all. I'll think of it like a prop. Later, we each held the photos we'd printed out. Taking a photo in your planner is a pretty neat idea. Yes, I saw it in an anime once. The photos are an excellent tool to make feelings tangible. I never thought I'd have something like this. And now he's going to have a photo of us in his planner, and then it's going to be makes feelings tangible. Do you see that, though? That's like foreshadowing. As if we didn't know that we were going to fall in love with each other. But still, it's another one of those like, yeah, and then he's going to be like, but then I see your photo in my planner every day, and I started to realize I just really enjoyed that and being around you, and it just starts to like make you think about these emotions you didn't know were budding inside of you. I see what you're doing, game. Make feelings tangible, huh? Now that I think about it, I have print photos of my mom and grandma too. I suppose every time I look at this photo, I'll think about you and wonder what you're doing. It'll make me want to see you. Huh? Oh, well, I thought it would be like that for your girlfriend. Isn't that what photos of your special person are for? Oh, yes, I think so. Yeah, that sounds nice. Why don't we add that to our couple notes? Kind of fun adding to our characters. It's like we're playing Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, look! They have rare plants over there. Why don't we take a look? Yeah. The botanical garden was larger than I expected, and it was full of odd plants. It was like being in a fantasy world. And this garden's a really fun place. It really is. Alright, I feel so energized. And now then, let's tackle the other scouting locations. You're full of energy. Okay, let's do it. I feel like I know we're definitely under time, but with all of the editing that I have to do for the 32 parts and everything like that, I'm going to stop here before we get too far in and it goes too far over. Plus, I'm fucking starving. So, I'm pretty sure we'll be lucky if this is 45 minutes. It's definitely not an hour, but again, I think I'm like a few minutes under, like, because I always look and I'm like, okay, I know instead of having to switch back and forth between the file manager to see, the timer, I'm like, I always look at my clock when I start recording, so I know I'm under time anyway, plus the few minutes here and there of having to go back and redo stuff, but it's fine. We're having a day. Sometimes you just need to cut your losses, and that's this. But anyway, we'll have normal part. Plus, we have parts that go over sometimes, so it's okay. It's all right. We'll be okay. You'll be okay. I'll be okay, maybe. Anyway, I will see you guys next time, and hopefully, we won't have to edit 42 parts together. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.